Earlier last week, my coworker Becky and I were the only two in the office for the day. She invited me to join her affinity group for aspiring white allies. I didn't really know what the term affinity means, and for those of you who may also be unfamiliar, I offer you this definition. Affinity is a similarity in characteristics suggesting a relationship. As meaningful as that conversation was that I got to have with One Goal employees from all across the nation, what had the most impact on me was a conversation I had afterwards. Becky just returned from maternity leave and is starting her adventure of raising a beautiful baby boy. When talking about other issues that come up when aspiring to be a white ally, she brought up the topic of how to raise a white boy to become a conscious white adult. I feel really lucky that I don't have to face that issue right now. But what I do have to face is something even scarier. No one's really raising me anymore. Yes, I still depend on my parents for some things, and I learn from them daily, but I'm like 99% already raised. I have peers and I have mentors who are trying to help me solve this issue, and they're working through it with me. But any efforts to be a conscious white adult falls completely on my shoulders. If anyone in the room has a definite definition of what it means to be a conscious white person, please come find me after, because I can tell you I'm far from having this figured out. Sure, I listen to other people share their experiences without interjecting my own thoughts and my opinions. And yes, I own my own ignorances when it comes to identities that I just don't understand. But is that enough? Does that make me a conscious white person? Just how I can't deem myself a white ally, do I hold the position to call myself a conscious white person? Earlier this semester, one of my favorite classes is when we had a facilitator, Oscar, come and teach us about diversity and identity. We learned a really valuable lesson that day about icebergs, and just how you can't see everything about a person, you can not see everything about an iceberg, and so much is beneath the surface level. When we can't see everything about a person, we make our own assumptions, and those assumptions are often based off of biases that we hold. For a second, I want you to picture a first-generation college student. What is their family income level? What is their citizenship? What is their ethnicity? Putting myself on blast, I've always had a pretty boxed-in image of what a first-gen student might look like. Perhaps this is a low-income student of color, not born in the United States. My classmate Crystal, a white girl from New Hampshire, didn't fit that image. That was a generalization I had made about an entire group of people and assumptions I had made about Crystal before even getting to know her. Based solely on the color of her skin, her academic achievements, and my own biases, I thought I had Crystal figured out. As someone who's on a path to work with students and families from minority backgrounds, I have to continue to challenge myself to unpack these biases that I hold and the assumptions that I make about people. We all have our own biases, as I'm sure some of you were also not picturing a student like Crystal, but we can't work towards changing these until we understand that we have them. So I hope that you guys all take some time today, whether on your 15-minute walk back to work or your couple-hour car ride home tonight, and reflect on the biases that you hold. I'm not saying this is a monumental idea, and I'm not saying it's going to solve the world's issues, but I do think it's a step in the right direction. I don't know if there is an answer on how to be a conscious white person, but I do know I'm committed to breaking past surface level with everyone that I interact with and continue to challenge these assumptions I make to learn and grow from them. Imagine a world where people only understand you for the identities that you hold and not ones that they presume you have. That's a world I'd maybe look forward to raising a baby in one day. Thank you.